Paper Cuts by Kaylen Forsyth. Distant chatter as Sally sighs and sips her drink. She is tapping her long, false nails against a marble table.
Do you remember your first client, Trixie? No. Wow. That's something. I've told you about mine, haven't I? Seriously? Oh, I thought I would have by now. You got a spare 5 minutes then? Where's your next guy? Here, have yourself a bit of this. There. So, it was 23 years ago, 6 months, 2 weeks and 4 days, this encounter. Christmas Eve, no less. And he comes in straight out of the rain, he does. My first client, poncho and moustache soaked, and he's reeking of whiskey. He doesn't sound drunk, though. And I wouldn't say he looks unattractive. Oh, that's strange. Oh, present tense. Oh, what's that about, Trix? Well, I guess that's how memory works. It can be quite anyway, it doesn't matter. Back to the story. I reach for this guy's hand and it's big. Like, he's got big hands, and you know what they say. Naturally, I start to feel a bit nervous. I'm small down there. I don't want the guy to be like too big, you know. This is my first ever client. And positive thoughts, I tell myself. Positive thoughts. Nice, carefree smile as I lead him down the corridor. You know, we're walking, you know, holding hands. All's well. I keep back turning every few seconds just so he can see that I'm nice, you know? Oh, what a smile she's got. You know, that kind of thing. Then suddenly, out of the blue, he blurts out, "What's your name, lady?" "Mine's Dick." Dick? You gotta be kidding me, I think. No, not my first ever client. My first Dick, and he's called Dick? I mean, come on! Already one for the history books. Right, I bite my tongue. Well, you just follow me right this way, Dick. I'm sure we're going to have a lovely time together. My name's Sally. Merry Christmas, Sally, he says. Very polite man. Now, the rooms back then, they weren't so big. You should count yourself lucky, Trix, having your little sink, your little chaise longue and your dividers. You've never known any different. But back then, though, we're talking about bread and butter stuff. Window, bed, one lonely flickering light bulb. Once we're in there, now that's when things start to take a bit of a turn. See, there was a lot of moonlight that night. So much of it streaming through the windows, making these fat white stripes across the duvet. Pretty, I think. Well, one thing's for certain. Good job I don't voice that aloud, because as soon as the old door closes, Dick points to the window and says, "Can you do something about that?" Do something about what? I ask. Do you mean, are you talking about the moonlight? And his voice, which had, up until that point, a kind of nervous quiver about it, suddenly booms at me. Solid, steady, terrifying. "I want it gone, Sally." Well, when someone's acting as bizarrely as that, you don't have a filter, do you? Your sense of how to respond rationally, politely, is shot. What the hell? I snap. And he fixes me with a stone cold glare, does Dick, and says in a voice that's as equally cold, "Moonlight killed my wife, my eldest son, and my baby daughter." Fuck. An awkward silence follows. Of course it does. play with a piece of hair, like twisting it round my finger, and Dick slots his big hands into my pockets. We sort of stand there and look at the floor. After 5 minutes of this, I can't help myself. I have to say something. You know me, Trix, I hate silence. The moon really wiped out all three of them. He nods. Christ, what do you even have left? Too forward, I know. But I was so young back then, so new. My first ever client. Dick runs a hand over his head. His hair's shorn quite close to his scalp, but looking at him, you can see it had been long once. Probably luscious and thick too. As I said, not unattractive. Trix, please don't picture him ugly. My youngest son, he says. He's all I have left. Well, at least that's someone. A fair sentiment? Apparently not. Turns out Dick doesn't even like him. No, he says. He's not very nice. And not knowing where to go from there, I hurry over to the blinds and block out the moonlight as best I can. I don't want him flipping out. And I collapse onto the mattress, I do. I spread my legs good and wide. Change of pace, much needed. Are you going to rip my tights off, Dick? I purr. And he does try. Bless him. Credit where credit's due, but it's a sight for sore eyes. Like fumbling and swearing, damn fucking tights. And then once they're finally off, another problem rears its head. He can't get it up. And he gets very impatient this time, starts like slapping himself in the face, would you believe? Busts his lip on his wedding ring. I was like, stop. I grab his hands, hold them softly. Hey, why don't you pretend I'm your wife? Will that help? A dangerous rage crosses his face then. He's going to hit me. I'm sure of it. He's going to hit me even harder than he hits himself. A black eye on my first day. But turns out I'm surprised because Dick only nods. We're getting somewhere. Finally, confident now, I venture further. What did you two like to do in bed? Maybe we could try that. Now, Trix, my lovely, you will never guess in a million years. No, don't bother trying. Right, Dick looks at the wall. He won't make eye contact. And he mutters his answer, barely audible. Sally, would you be able to paper cut my back while I touch myself? I know. Sure, Dick. Why not? But then he hesitates a bit. He's worried, you see, because they promised each other, him and his wife, they promised that if they ever fucked anyone else, they'd just do vanilla things. Missionary, the like. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't reveal their weirdness, their ugly desires. I said, oh, Dick, don't say that. It's just different. It's not an ugly desire. He says, yes, Sally. Yes, it is. What's shocking, though, is that while we're doing it, it isn't actually that uncomfortable. There I am, slicing up his back with some paper I went and nabbed from the front desk, and there he is. He turned towards the door, hand between his legs, panting like a dog. When he comes, he sighs quite sadly and lies himself down next to me, boxer shorts back up. He's leaving blood all over the sheets, but I don't mention anything. I notice his eyes are all red. cheeks are wet. Oh God, God, oh God, oh God, 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 what have I done? I'm young, I'm new, I'm not used to weeping men yet. I decide the tears mean that he wants to talk, get stuff off his chest. Obviously, knowing what I know now about life, he likely just wanted me to lie there next to him and shut up. maybe hold his hand, a bit of quiet company, but I'm a fool, a sap. I ask if he misses her. He winces, then answers simply yes. More than your children? He doesn't look at me. He's speaking to the ceiling. I suppose I grieve my baby daughter the most. Why her, I quiz. Well, she was too young to have ever said or done anything to hurt me. I don't have one single thing to hold against her. Next, I ask what you've probably been wondering for several minutes now, Trix. The elephant in the room. How does moonlight kill a person? How did they die, Dick? They just did. I fiddle with my hair again, twisting a strand around my thumb. Merry Christmas. I suddenly realised I didn't say it before when he said it to me. Dick's crying, but he isn't making any crying sounds. The room is so quiet. We can still hear each other breathe, though. Merry Christmas. He says it once, then again. And a few more times. Is he losing his mind, I think? Right in front of me. I let him carry on until I can't stand it any longer. I don't want to be horrid and say, that's enough now, Dick. Stop saying Merry Christmas, but that's what I do. That's what I say. Enough now, Dick. For Christ's sake, enough. Truth. When I think about that night, not all of me, but a bit of me feels sort of blown open, to be honest. What should I have done? Probably not paper cut him. Probably not that at all.
A bell in another room sounds.
Oh, would that be for you, Trix? Aye. See, the thing you have to bear in mind before you go, he was my first client. Do you remember your first client? Oh, no, you don't, do you? Oh.
The bell again.
I just can't help feeling sometimes. I don't know if it's a normal feeling or what. I can't help feeling that there's no difference between this life we've chosen and any other life. I mean, people will always hurt us and mean it no matter what. And it hardly counts for anything because that's never what wrecks us, is it? In the end. See, I can deal with cruelty, Trix. I think everyone can, even you. It's not scary. It's the people who come along, hurt us, and they don't even mean to, don't even realise. Trixie, isn't that what wrecks us?
Once more, the bell.
I think you have to go now. Yes. Yes, you do.
Retreating footsteps. A pause before gentle rain.